I'm here today with Mirtha Garcia, the Banking Center President for Rio Bank here in Elsa, Texas. She's a proud local and dedicated Rotary member and a part of the very first leadership cohort for Leadership Elsa. She's also at the helm of one of the city's biggest private investments, and her bank, Rio Bank, is in the middle of a $5 million remodel for their center here in Elsa. So we're super excited. Thank you for joining us, Mirtha.
Thank you for having me, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you're not just working in Elsa, you're from here, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What does it feel like to lead in the same community that shaped you as a leader?
There's so many emotions that it's hard to kind of wrap it around in just one emotion. You know, it's excitement. I'm proud. I'm honored. I would have to say that since my roots are here, it's more personal for me, and I love what I do, and to do it every day in my hometown, it's humbling. I get to give back to a community that shaped me in my values, and now I get to do that in return and serve the people that have made me who I am, and hopefully I get to continue to do that for generations to come.
Of course. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, growing up here, the Elsa changing over the years, and what is the Elsa spirit? It's kind of from, I've been here for almost 3 years, and when I go out and I try to explain it to people, it's tough. But how can you talk a little bit about, the history of Elsa and
I'll do my best. I've been here for, over 40 years. I think I would get a lot of heat if I don't say jacket pride. So the community from here bleed black and gold, myself included. Yes, definitely there has been a lot of improvements that you can see, both physical here in this community with all the franchises, the new businesses, a lot of improvements that have been done. I would say that the amenities have been great too. The garden, can't say enough about that. When I explain that to people, I say, they've brought a little bit of San Antonio into my hometown, and I love it. The walking trail, I try to use it as much as I can. The spirit of Velsa, I think that remains unchanged in our family values. I still go back home and enjoy the family barbecue and just reminisce with my families. I'm not a banker there. I'm a little sister, and that keeps me grounded. So I love that.
I was looking at it and I kind of described to people that Elsa is almost like the microcosm of the Rio Grande Valley. Like the same things that make the Rio Grande Valley special compared to the rest of the state or the rest of the world. Elsa is kind of like the little part of the Rio Grande Valley compared to the bigger part of the region.
Absolutely.
And so you see, a lot close to family. You walk into the stores and you see people all the time. The other day I was at Batuza's and my eyes were kind of bothering me, and Dr. Gonzalez walks in. I was able to ask him a question.
The local eye doctor.
Yeah, the local eye doctor who saved me and got me glasses.
There you go.
The first time in 30 years. And so it's fun being here. I think, the close-knit community, everyone's kind of rooting everyone else on to grow and kind of and staying kind of connected. It's been a really great experience being here.
Yeah, we encourage one another for successes in whatever that may look like. As a little girl, I remember riding my bike to the post office, which is now where Whataburger is at. I don't get to do that now, but I'm excited and proud that the town has developed so much. HEB is not where it used to be, but now we have this grand new grocery store that we can get everything that we need. With Walmart being here, no one needs to leave this beautiful town. We have everything here, and that's great.
Definitely. And I think over the past, close to 3 years now, we've had multiple events, which you're always so gracious to support and show up. And when we bring outside people into Elsa, I hear a lot, like they haven't been here in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they're just floored with the development that we've had. And then you've kind of had the front row seat of that, being here at the bank and your location and a community member, and it's really exciting to see. Do you hear the same thing?
I do. I do hear the same thing. I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I graduated from, over 30 years ago. But and that's something that comes up in topic. Elsa is growing so much, and it's amazing. It's amazing to have those conversations because we're witnessing growth, and to live it, to witness it, to have a small part in it. It's very humbling for me.
I kind of want to shift over towards the banking lens now. I want to talk about your role at Rio Bank. What does a typical day look like for you at the banking center?
Um, every day it's an opportunity to make a difference. I want to give credit where credit is due. I don't do it alone. I have a great team, a great support staff that, help me along the way. But it's a mix of leadership, community engagement, and customer relationships, networking. Um, Sometimes it's overlooking metrics, if I can say. We're reviewing, loan pipelines, accounts, branch, and I lost my thought. Branch performance, I'm sorry. And it involves, meeting customers. It involves meeting new potential customers. So sometimes it does mean putting out fires, if something has escalated. So it does become a challenge. So it's never a boring day. It's never something the same. But when you love what you do, do you really call it work? So I enjoy it.
How big is your team there at the bank?
I supervise two branches, so it's Elsa and Ed Couch. So my total team is about 13.
And how many are they all from Edcalpelsa?
The majority of us, yes, we are all Ed Couch, Elsa, Delta area. Yes,
Very cool.
yes.
I think I think some of the speeches we've had, or the community events, Coffee and Connect, for example, where we bring in SBA or UTRGV's Small Business Development Center. We think I always kind of preach to the entrepreneur community that you should have a relationship with the bank.
Yes.
You need
Very
to
true.
have a relationship with multiple banks, right? And one of the things that we talk about is banking local, right? Not being, I mean, it's great that we have like the big names here in the region, but can you talk about how important it is and for a community bank like Rio Bank to be here and to be present here and to be investing here, and how people need to connect with you and connect with the bank to develop those relationships?
Very true, and I appreciate the invitation that I get for those events, Daniel. And yes, it's very true, and that's something that we try to, educate all our customers, when they come and visit with me, and maybe I'm not able to help them, at that turn for whatever reason, and we coach them and let them know what maybe making some changes in what they're currently doing so that maybe we can help them the other time around. What I do like to mention is that a community bank, we help support, everybody that's around us. We provide capital to local businesses. We provide to farmers, to families. So all of that, generates growth, and it comes back to the community that we live in. So fortunate to be able to do that.
Let's talk about Rio Bank is kind of doubling down on Elsa, right? You came to us, and I remember you calling the meeting saying, "Hey, we're looking at doing this remodel. We want to get together with a team and talk about our plans." And when we saw the plans were floored, it was exciting to see. Your building it's an older building. When was it constructed?
I don't have the exact date for that, but I know that it's been in operations for a while, over 80 years. I want to say the building is probably close to over 50 years. So it is time. It is time for a new building.
I remember the first time I walked in. There's a very like nostalgic feeling walking in
Yes.
here. I think it's beautiful, the old, the brick and all that. But definitely, I think a new bank coming in is super exciting.
Yes.
And when we saw the plans and kind of what you guys were doing, I mean, the buzz started. We kind of started spreading the word really quickly internally,
Yes.
saying, "Hey, Rio Bank is investing. It's going to be really nice."
Yes.
You broke ground recently on some of the infrastructure aspect of the project, and uh, I want you to talk a little bit about why do you think Rio Bank is coming back into Elsa to reinvest here?
Well, I believe that, Rio Bank has a presence here already. We have a very loyal customer base, and this is an opportunity also to give back to the community. They have seen the growth, and I'm a big advocate for the city of Elsa. Whenever I have an opportunity, I do communicate everything that, the city is working on, and they have completed. So kudos to city officials that have done that for our town. But they see the economic potential, the growth that is happening here in Elsa. So we're not going anywhere. We are here to stay, and we're going to have a beautiful building that our customers and our community can enjoy.
And what's the vision for the building? How is it going to be different than what is currently existing there?
Well, it's going to be positioned, a little bit better. It'll now be facing 107, which right now it's kind of a little bit facing towards the west. So it'll be more accessible, easy accessible to our customers. We're going to be more efficient, for our customers. We're going to continue to provide quality products and services, which Rio Bank currently does. So that's not going to change. We're just going to be in a better building, better facility. It is also going to include a community center. So also, giving back to this community, and I'm so proud of that. Hopefully, we will be using that facility to continue to push for financial literacy. It's something that Rio Bank believes in, and is one of its initiatives that it's pushing really hard to educate, its citizens here, its customers, and hoping for success all around.
I think the exciting part for myself, when we heard about it, was the community center aspect.
Yes.
As you know, we do the Coffee and Connect, and we go to Batuzas and Leadership Elsa. We have to ask Batuzas Ilata's event center for
As well.
space.
Yes.
And when you guys came in, you talked about this community center that you'd be able to maybe host a Rotary meeting there, or maybe host, a financial literacy class or workforce development kind of class. It really got me excited because
Absolutely.
in a lot of other cities across the valley, they have a bigger presence of UTRGV, or maybe they have big chambers and different things like that. And I think here an important part is gelling the community even more so.
Correct.
The entrepreneurship community, the small business owners, and part of that is like a fourth space for people to meet.
Yes.
We won't really have that. I know before the EDC was using the Pony Building for some things, which is a little
yes.
shell inside of the park, but isn't that not really the
Yes.
most beautiful building? And so
Absolutely.
when we heard about this, I was
I'm
ecstatic.
I'm excited. I can't wait for it. The early on in my banking career, I got to experience a lot of mixers, so that was also an opportunity to network and connect. So I think that the community center will give us that as well.
Definitely. I think when you go to conferences, like there's great information in classrooms and in trainings, but sometimes the best information is in the hallway, like the mixer at the
I'll have to agree.
the
Yes.
active thing. And so I think this space is really going to be a little bit of best of both worlds. I want you to talk about being here and Real Bank kind of investing in expansion or in the remodel of this building. What does that say to other investors from outside of Elsa? Like when they see Rio Bank coming in and spending $5 million when they already have a building here, what do you think the message is to other people?
Um, I think that they are going to see a major player is committed to, the city of Elsa. And with this type of investment, it shows that Rio Bank believes in its economic potential. So the growing power is here, it's coming. So I think that it sends that message.
Me too.
Right?
A lot of my social media, that we post is obviously some of the audience is attracting outside investors. And one of the tags I like to put is grow with us.
Bro.
And when you already see Rio Bank here and then the expansion that you guys are taking on, it's exciting because it's the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
Rio Bank is already continuing to grow.
And we're committed to, that's part of our mission statement. We want communities, we see our communities grow. So staying true to that.
I want to shift gears into Leadership Elsa now.
Okay.
Leadership Elsa is a program that I launched. I started working on about a year ago, and with UTRGV, we sat down and came up with a curriculum. And you were the first person that I wanted to reach out to and invite into Leadership Elsa because
Hey, I'm wondering.
the epitome of leadership here in our community. And so you're part of the first cohort, and I want to talk about why did you say yes when I called and asked you, would you please be a part of this?
Um, I said yes because you asked me to. No, but I saw a lot of opportunities, both personal and professionally. So I jumped at the chance. I've done other leadership programs, and they've taken me away from the city of Elsa. For this opportunity to land in my lap, I couldn't pass it up. I had to sign up for it, and to be the first, it's a milestone. So I wanted to take part in that and be able to continue to enhance my leadership skills, and at the same time, with my experience and background, help those young leaders that are emerging. So it's a great opportunity, and also to expand my network too. It's also an opportunity for me to do that. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
We're very glad you said yes. I think you're part of what makes the whole cohort very special right now. We've gone through, I think, 3 classes now, 2 classes.
Two,
Our third one
we're,
canceled.
yes,
The
I
rain.
was looking forward to it.
So in our first 2 classes, we're a third of the way through. What's one thing that you've learned in the program that you're able to kind of go back and share with your coworkers and your team?
One thing that I did learn was I was so set in one sort of leadership style, and that leadership style is servant leader. But I realized that may change, throughout, maybe because of the influences that we have during our journey. And I hadn't realized that. So that was, good to realize, and then to see that, what I've had those opportunities where, maybe this type of leadership skill did not suit the situation, and and knowing that I could adjust and maybe look or approach things a different way, that was interesting to me. So I'm going to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think it was Dr. Pi.
Dr. Pi, yes.
Dr. Pi was
Yes.
really fun. The videos she put up on the screens was
Sweet.
always very engaging and kind of thought provoking.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
What I guess within the last 2 classes, what is something that you learned from another classmate or that you've been able to teach another classmate in there? I think not everyone inside that cohort is necessarily has maybe a team as big as yours under them, and so they're emerging leaders and they're learning to grow. And I think a lot of people probably look to you in there to maybe for some advice or for some help. And I think back to when we built the cohort out, I was really focused on having a mixture of people in there. And so is there anyone in there in particular that you've been able to help that was not necessarily part of
I
your team?
I know a lot of people that are in our cohort, and they know what it is that I do. So they feel comfortable, speaking to me, and I feel comfortable, offering any type of advice that I can, and I do it when I can, and it's very rewarding for me when I get to do that and hear the or see, the aha moment where, something made sense to them. And, that tells me that maybe I am at the right place. I'm helping someone, enhance their leadership. So that's
I
important to me.
I'm not technically part of the class, but I'm sitting there with you guys
You
watching
are.
and listening. And so I think one interesting little activities that we did was the sticker one,
Yes.
where they talked about sometimes in teams people are scared to speak up. Maybe they don't want to be ridiculed by coworkers, or they don't feel confident in themselves, or whatever the reason is. And I kind of gather some of those things that we talk about there. And
Yes.
when I come back here to the city, I will throw those suggestions out. Like, hey, leadership, we learned this new tactic where we put up all the ideas on the wall, and then everyone gets a sticker and is able to vote without
Yes.
putting
That
themselves out there.
yes, that was a very interesting exercise. I hadn't encountered that, but yeah, after seeing it all put together, I was like, oh wow. So I do. I also, come back to my workplace and share what we did, with my assistant. I'm mentoring her and coaching her so that she can expand, her knowledge. And she's like, oh wow, that's interesting. Maybe I can do that next time. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, if you can.
What I wanted to talk about a little bit about Rotary also.
Mhm.
You guys have invited me a couple of times to go speak to the Rotary, and I know we don't have a chamber here in Elsa, and so a lot of times I feel that part of my role are some chamber activities. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have a membership or anything like that, but we talk about groundbreaking
Maybe
ceremonies,
maybe we can change that.
different things. What is your role with the Rotary, and how do you stay so motivated to be involved and to give back?
Um, I've been with the Rotary. I'm going on 3 years. I'm currently the vice president of the club, and I find the motivation again because it's an opportunity to stay engaged, with the community. Um, I'm a person that once I commit to something, I stick to it and I try to do the best that I can. I told myself that, I'm going to stay engaged and provide the best possible outcome that I can in whatever capacity that, I'll offer whatever expertise, that I may have. And sometimes they work, sometimes it doesn't, but it's still a learning opportunity and continue to grow, within myself and the organization, and I enjoy that. I have a little bit more time on my hands now that I'm an empty nester, so it's also shifting my focus, from my family life, and now I'm able to do things that are rewarding, to me, and hoping to provide some sort of change, for the better whenever possible. So really enjoy doing that.
It's great. I think you know, when I first got here, like I said, I didn't know anyone. I wasn't really. The funny story I tell people is I had no idea where Walmart was, and I was here at City Hall, and someone said that Sonic was opening up next to Walmart, and I drove towards HEB
Oh, okay.
just because I thought, oh, I'll figure it out. I assumed that it was on 107, and slowly going to events, I got to know you a lot better, and see how involved you were and the commitment that you have with the community, and you've been a huge help to usher in new programs, to have events, to whether it's a community event or an EDC programming that I'm doing, and just
Sure.
really really
Thank you.
appreciate everything that you've done. Um, and so kind of moving into like local leaders here, I feel like JJ and I talk about it here at the city, and we all do. We all wear so many different hats because we're smaller teams. We don't have, you know, 20 different departments, like say the city of McAllen may have.
Right.
And so, what does leadership look like here in the city of Elsa? I think a lot of people wear many different hats. It's not, you're not just part of the Rotary, you're part of different things. And so, when you look across the landscape of Elsa, everyone's wearing different hats. And what do you think that kind of does for the community? And what do you think the positives of that is?
Well, if you're trying to identify leadership, it's 5'2". It's dark hair. It's wearing a blue blazer right now. No, but all kidding aside, I think that it's leading by example. It's it's having the branch president run alongside a Rotary float during the Christmas parade and hand out candies to children from the community and bring a smile to their face. It's doing whatever you can for the community in, if you have the resources to be able to do it, which, Rio Bank provides those resources for me. And I'm very grateful that I get to do it in my hometown. And it's it's being, it's serving, and it fits right in with the type of leadership style that I have. So it's easy for me, I think.
And when you're involved in, whether it's at the bank or in the community, and you see someone, like, maybe someone who's just graduated from college or just entered into the bank world, how do you, if you see that spark of like, what, I think this person
Has what it takes.
has what it takes or is next in line, how do you kind of fan that flame so that they can kind of jump into those roles?
I tell them my journey and, my life story. They like to, I do always ask, Mirtha, how did you get here? You are, one of the few female branch presidents here for Rio Bank. So they do ask me, how were you able to accomplish that? And I just said that, I tried to do the best, with the, going back to my roots, my parents instilled our values in me. And one of those values is working hard, staying committed, working to, to do what it takes to have what you need, to bring success, whatever that may mean to you. And I started in I went from a bank teller to now being a branch president, and they find that so amazing to do. And I said, well, at the time, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't looking for a career in banking. It was a way to sustain, my family life and provide. But had a very good mentor that showed me the way. So now I feel that it's, sort of an obligation for me to do the same for others. And I push that, I let them know what qualities they have and reassure them that they're on the right path.
That's great.
Yeah.
So a little bit about that, kind of a little bit more lighthearted questions now. What was your first job in Elsa? Was it the bank teller?
No, actually, it was a paid internship with the Elsa ISD at the administration building. I was the assistant. I was helping the superintendent assistant secretary at that time. So I learned a lot of clerical skills and saw firsthand, what the workforce was all about, and that's where I was inspired to join the business world.
Or would you cash your check at Rio Bank?
I would not cash it at Rio Bank. Actually, yes, I guess I did. It was Elsa State Bank at the time, so yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's
Full
your,
circle.
What's your go-to spot for lunch?
You're putting me on the spot for that, but
Three.
oh, it's it's all of them, something that my husband and I do, and I always tell him is, let's keep it local. So, I do visit every single one, whenever I can. I do eat out more than I should, but if I would have to name a few, it will be, Betusas. It will be Taqueria Zamora. That's actually a family favorite. My kids, when they come in from out of town, that's the first place that they'll hit up, even before coming and seeing me. So they do love that. Gigi's is another one.
It is.
Yes.
What's one leadership quality you value the most?
Resilience. Just I've talked about, hard work and just, continue to push through and, give the best of yourself and everything will fall into place. Stay positive and, you'll make anything happen. Like,
So, closing thoughts. For anyone who's listening or dreaming of starting something else, a business, a program, a career, what advice would you give them about believing in the place they're from?
I would say keep true to your roots. That's what gave you your experience. With me, being from here, I value where I come from, and I think that it has helped me through this journey, both personal and professional. It's having a strong work ethic, keep to it, having a sense of community, staying connected, staying grounded. It's using those life lessons and keeping and help keeping you stay connected. And I think you'll be fine.
It's perfect.
That's
Well, we are done.
Oh my goodness.
You survived.
I survived. Can we cut?
Any questions? Anything else you want to add?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for this opportunity. This is not you've taken me out of my comfort zone. Even though, this is one-on-one, it's still very, very intimidating. I hope I did okay.
What people can't see is all the lights and cameras on the other side of this. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely, it's going to look great and we're going to have fun with it. And before I post anything, you'll see it. So you can approve of it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm humble. I'm, excited. I was excited to have been asked. And, if people see me as a role model, I'm doing the best that I can.
Last thing, this will be everything to wrap up. If someone wants to get a hold of you, talk about Rio Bank, get involved in the community, how can you just kind of talk about how they get a hold of you and everything that you have to offer at Rio Bank, almost like a little
Oh,
mini.
yeah, absolutely. I'm available in my office. I have an open door policy. You don't need an appointment to come and visit with me. If you need any sort of advice, whether it's career, whether it's business, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. I'm in my office from 9 to 4. They can reach me on my cell, or they can reach me my direct line. I've got an email that they could also. Can I share that, or?
All right, we'll post
Oh,
it.
you'll post it, or you post that information. But I have an open door policy. They can find me on Wednesday afternoon at the taco place in Ed Couch, at our Rotary meeting, and anyone and everyone is welcome to also see what we do there for the community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.